Alrighty, everybody. Hello and welcome to Team 2 for Cyberpunk, a game that is played on Wednesday afternoons. I am your GM, as per always, Big Lundy, and these are my wonderful groups of people here who are going to help to tell a little story for you today. We are going to be missing Officer Santos, as played by Santana today, but that's fine because this is going to be a little bit of a rest and recovery period, at least for a couple of the people involved in the crew, before they can actually end up moving on with the regular job that the group needs to do. So, before we go ahead and get started, and I explain exactly why they're recovering and all that sort of thing, we're going to go ahead and have everybody give themselves nice little introductions so you know who is speaking and who represents who when they are on the board. Starting at the top to the bottom, Heresy.
Hello, I am Heresy. I play the solo Dragon Pillar.
Homie.
I play Don Bruce, the corpo whose face is now 3 inches caved in.
Thorium.
I play Novapop, the Netrunner.
And Young.
Hey, I'm Young. I play K9, the unstable nomad.
Grenadier at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on the last session, the group had finally managed to get themselves together. After a little bit of standoffishness, as K9 had realized that Dragon Pillar, after he had taken his mask off, was somebody that he had actually known in the past, Novapop was able to settle things down to the degree that he explained that there was a lot of money to be made in future jobs that he was interested in investigating. That's why he had gathered everybody in the first place. But that it would probably be a good idea if everybody worked together on a different job first. Something small, something that could be taken care of within a day. To just demonstrate how well the group can potentially work together. So, they did a little bit of research and found out that there had been a massacre that had happened very recently, earlier on in that day. And signs pointed to a cyber psycho being the perpetrator. So, they did some investigation, and eventually they were able to track down the cyber psycho in question to a small restaurant on the pier, wherein apparently he had a bit of a shrimp obsession. The group managed to successfully, I guess, evacuate the restaurant of all staff and customers and such, before eventually engaging on the psycho in question and having a rather massive firefight, which resulted in, lighting the kitchen on fire, as well as the cyber psycho on fire, and both,
And the Roomba.
and the Roomba getting shot. Don Bruce and K9 did not come out of that unscathed, both of them being very seriously injured by the cyber psycho. Thankfully, Novapop, Dragon Pillar, as well as Officer Santos came out more or less without any sort of issues. Mostly as a result of the complete aggro that K9 had from just shooting so many grenades. After taking down the cyber psycho, the group turned him in by calling the police, as well as getting a meat wagon to come to pick him up and identify him and all those sorts of things. And there was a bit of an interview that happened between Don Bruce, Officer Santos, and a media by the name of Turbo Tom. Let me see if I can't...
Dash, wasn't it?
Turbo Dash. Turbo Dash.
Although it might have switched during the game.
It might. Who knows?
Turbo Tom Dash.
Yes, Turbo Dash was the name. Let's see. Does it work?
Yep. I can hear it.
You can. I can't. Which is weird. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
There we
This
go.
is Turbo Dash coming at you live from the crime scene in question. I have two people here that have been more than willing to offer interviews for us today to describe exactly what seems to have happened. First off, I'd like to go to you, sir. You don't look like you're with the police. What exactly is your name?
I'm Don Bruce, manager and a worker at Rockland Augmentics.
And how did you find yourself here today?
Well, I was with a few of my friends down by the boardwalk when we heard about an incident that has
Something wrong?
transpired. A
I
cyber
am just
psycho
playing
had
the
gotten
interview.
A little out of hand and assaulted a bunch of people there, killing
sorry.
many in the process.
Yes, for those that don't know, that there was in fact an assault that happened earlier today on the docks. Unfortunately, a yacht restaurant was the site of a brutal murder scene, with several dead bodies having been found both in terms of security, staff, and customers. So I take it that the cyber psycho that has been apprehended as of now is the same one that committed that particular gruesome act.
Yes, we believe it is the exact same culprit.
And so you came here, were you attempting to apprehend the subject yourself as a non-police officer? I'll turn it down a little bit. This is something that kind of plays a little bit, plays in the background as the rest of you are getting yourselves more or less situated as you need to be. You got your reward money, which turned out to be about 3,000 euro bucks. A nice, decent chunk of cash for each of you. However, with K9 and Mr. Bruce having been seriously injured, it would probably be a good idea to get them to a med tech at some point, or a Ripper Doc, somewhere within the city. Which is probably going to end up costing a little bit of money to get them back in tip-top shape, as well as a bit of time. So the question I would say would be, how are you? Does anybody already know of any medtechs or Ripper Docs in the area, or do you need to look that stuff up?
I figured at worst we could just call Julian for other suggestion.
Deal with this incident.
Hmm.
The ones who aided me was
I suppose you probably could. Yeah, Julian the Fixer could potentially help you on that front. I believe it's Nova and Bruce who have his information.
Yep. Well, I'll give Julian a quick call then while everyone else is, scattering for the day.
Whilst he is also in the midst of watching this particular interview, he takes the call from you for a moment and says, "Mr. Bruce, it's good to hear from you, especially since I am currently also watching you on this interview. Have a masterful time handling Mr. Turbo Dash."
Jeez, they got that to air real quick.
Oh, everything is basically instantaneous these days.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bother you. Our team's debut job, well, it went, but not without injury. You got any Ripper Docs or med techs in the area you could point me towards? Two of us are pretty banged up.
I could, but it is going to cost a small bit of a finder's fee, if you don't mind.
How much?
Oh, not much. Just 100 euro bucks sent my way.
Consider it yours. Don's eyes will light up blue as he transfers the credits.
Very good. Well, I can go ahead and send you over to Little China then. They have a lot of cagey people over there, but if you find yourself in the midst of their area, you'll be able to find, I believe, someone by the name of Mercy. She's a Russian that finds herself over there. It's a bit of a disconnect, but at the very least, she'll be able to help you out.
Got it. Thanks. He'll hang up at that point and turn to the others. Right, so I'm gonna call Ryder, and I'm gonna take K9 with me to go get fixed up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
You be quiet, Captain Eager Grenade.
Yeah.
Don just looks real pissed at him.
I like it, dude.
Well, after having called Ryder, you guys will eventually have him come over to your area, and he's pretty quick with it. With the quickness, he arrives, looking at the two of you as he pulls up and looking somewhat amused at the situation. You see him in the midst. You see him kind of like get out, open the doors, and get them ready for you guys. And then he also seems to place down some mats and plastic over top of all the various different furnishings of the thing. As he's like, I really don't want you guys bleeding all over my interior.
Yeah, I understand. The clothes can only absorb so much, Don will say while shoving K9 into the back.
So, he aids you getting in, Bruce, but when he looks to K9, he just kind of like looks to him and expects him to make his own way into the car.
I do. Drag myself over.
Do we have a destination in mind then, good sir?
It was Chinatown, right?
Little China.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for being nearby, Ryder.
It's sort of my job, sir.
I could still be grateful.
Very good. Do you have a name of a person that we're going to go see?
A med tech. Think her name was Mercy.
Ah, Mercy's Clinic. I'm familiar. Wouldn't be my first time yet going to visit.
Anything I need to know about her?
Well, she's a bit hard-headed. And not exactly one for nonsense either, so try not to joke around too much.
Sounds like we'll get along just fine. You hear that back there? He shouts to K9.
Yeah.
Because I
I'll do
swear,
my best.
I will zero you on the spot if you piss her off and make her charge more.
K9's about to pass out.
Don just holding his head, looking exasperated. He'll lean out the window. Nova, just transfer me my cut whenever you get it.
Will do.
Stay safe, you two.
The engine revs as he does a quick U-turn and then makes his way back towards the city center before taking the highway over towards Watson and into Little China. Before he arrives at Mercy's Clinic, what are Nova Pop and Dragon up to as you guys are like sort of scattering from the job?
Not a heck of a lot more for Nova Pop to do today, really. So we'll probably just head home and start doing a little research for the next bit of business.
Okay.
Check for any new news. Maybe even look for another job that might inform the run we plan on making at Rockman Cosmetics. Start looking at some publicly available information regarding the compromised computer terminals and equipment. See if there's any new developments there.
Okay.
Well, then I drive Nova Pop home in K9's car. Thanks for not leaving
Oh
that.
god.
We're not leaving that.
Yeah, I forgot about. Whoops. It's like you have to hot
Um,
wire it.
Dragon, I don't have a particularly spacious place, but you're welcome to crash there.
I'll take you up on an offer. I don't even remember where my place is, if I even have one.
And you did most of the a lot more of the heavy lifting on that last thing than I did, so I'm pretty much good to go. I'm just going to press on with what we've been doing.
Oh, speaking of which, Nova, I was in the old Eric Hacker building and found some nodes that I can't get into.
Eric Cocker building.
Arasaka.
Arasaka, yeah.
I'm
not.
We're mixing genres.
Yeah, I was thinking about the race on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay, what was that? The what
There's
about-
soccer building. Just outside of town. Has some nodes for a net runner. I can't get into them. I don't have any skills in that regard.
Hey, want to go check it out?
We have some free time until these other guys get patched up.
We can do that.
Alright then. I'll drive us out to the soccer building.
Is this going to be the new river ram?
Yeah.
daft?
Well, essentially, yes.
All right.
I've also marked the nodes in UV tape.
So, making your way out into the wastes then?
Yup.
Alright. Let me get... Alright. You guys are going to be heading into the wastes. That's going to be a bit of a longer trip here. So, looking at Bruce and K9, you guys make your way into Little China. Now, Little China is not a little place. It is filled with all sorts of different, very tall and very, well, gaudy-looking buildings, all of which are made in which to sort of appeal to the eye from anybody who's sort of driving on the highway that goes around Night City in general. And it looks like a place that people come to at night to have a lot of potentially illegitimate fun.
I'm not gonna lie, Ryder. I've never been to this part of town before.
It's a favorite for those who want to take a little bit of a break, here as well as Kabuki.
This medtech far?
Not too terribly far, sir.
Yeah, sorry about the tag along. I would have left him, but... Well, let's just say I want to see him in pain when he gets treated.
Can I get from both K9 as well as Bruce let's call it a reflex roll. Okay. All right. As you are approaching your destination, as far as you know, Ryder kind of like slams on the brakes a moment as in front of you, someone is tossed out of a set of double doors and kind of like stumbles into the middle of the road. The both of you manage to kind of like catch yourselves on the dashboard and the seats as the person stumbling out of the double doors kind of like stands up, looking somewhat woozy, and you see what looks like a platinum-haired, somewhat younger-looking woman come out and like aim a gun at it in his direction as the guy kind of like turns and begins to run to the best of his ability. She kind of like puts the gun and points it in the air for a second before glancing over at your car, and then puts it back into what appears to be a sheath on, or rather the holster on her side. She is dressed in what appears to be a doctor's outfit, from what you can tell. She's got the lab coat at the very least, and she just kind of wordlessly makes her way back into the building that she had just kicked the guy out of. And Ryder kind of like parks his car and says, "Okay, she's probably in a very bad mood today, so do be careful."
That was her, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Jesus Christ. I'm debating knocking him out before I drag him in there, but he's too big for that. Alright. Thanks, Ryder.
Anytime,
Me?
sir.
Don will get out and just go to get K9.
Just for your note, I'm really small.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Alright, well,
Wait, like
I have a
five,
body of 4.
I'm getting you and Ogma
Yeah.
blended together.
Yeah, no. K9
like-
is not like Ogma.
He'll just get...
So,
He opens the back door. Alright, so... The only thing you say in there is thank you and answering basic questions about how you feel. Got it?
Sure, boss.
Jesus Christ. Don will just help him out and begin to drag him toward the clinic.
You enter in through the double doors and immediately see that this is a pretty small clinic, all things considered. It's like it seems to be mushed in between two different buildings that are much larger than it. But when you come inside, the platinum-haired woman kind of looks to the both of you with a serious look on her face, and just kind of gives you a once-over. You can tell that she's doing a bit of a scan with what appears to be one of her eyes that appears to be cybered out. And she says, "Well, the both of you have a number of various injuries. Gunshot wounds that you're not currently dying from, probably as a result of armor that you're wearing, as well as what appears to be some second-degree burn marks, and I believe there's probably some poison in your system as well. Why don't you all both take a seat?"
Thank you.
I'm not fine.
Ignore him.
Yes, I am aware that you are not fine.
We had a bit of a run-in with a cyber psycho. I'm sorry for dropping it on such short notice.
Interesting. And why exactly did you find yourselves in the way of a cyber psycho?
Well, we sort of went out of our way.
So, suicide wish. That did not quite go as planned?
More
We
like
wanted shrimps. We haven't shrimps.
we'll just quickly
Okay,
elbow
you are
him in the
clearly quite
ribs.
delirious. She kind of takes what appears to be a small rebreather and then comes over to place it on K9's face. Why don't you go ahead and just take a few breaths for me?
Whatever you say.
But
As
yeah,
as the rebreather is strapped to your face, K9, you feel that there is, you kind of hear the dull hiss of some sort of like gas entering in, and eventually you start getting really tired. And she leads you over to what appears to be a small sort of cot bed, and lays you down so that you can get some rest. Okay.
That works better than mine.
thank you.
Prolonged
I'm-
exposure is better. Okay. He's going to probably go second after he is nice and rested up. As far as yourself, do you have money?
Depends how much you need.
Given how banged up the both of you are, you're likely going to have to remain in the clinic at least for the next day or so. And I'm going to have to do at least some moderate surgery in order to get some bullet wounds out of you. So, I would say in total, about 1,000 euro bucks would do.
1,000, huh? Hey, K9. I'm gonna foot the full bill, so if you're still conscious over there, don't make me regret it. I'm sorry again. I'm Don Bruce. I work for Rockland Augmentics.
I don't particularly care.
Sorry. My driver informed me that you hate nonsense, so I'm just trying to be straight with you.
I get a lot of people here from all sorts of different walks of life. They all have their own individual stories. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters is you need help, which you clearly do, and that you have money in order to pay for the help.
Yeah, his eyes will light up as he transfers the full funds. Oh, wait, shit. Oh, no. I thought I... Oh, no. Hey, K9. Apparently I'm 200 short. I forgot I had to pay Julian to get to point us here. You got that much?
Yeah, take it.
Great. Alright, now we'll pay the bill together. I'll put in the majority of 800.
Alright. So between the two of you, you take care of the payment, and she gets you set up on a bed as well, and does some general checks as she begins to work on the both of you. So, Cyber Psycho, is this some sort of attempt at doing a bit of civic duty, or was this just a joy ride for you?
Well, we put together a new team and we're giving them a test run, so to speak.
I see. A team to accomplish what, if you don't mind me asking?
Whatever needs to be done to make money, I suppose.
Fair enough.
I just need to get my goal done. Everyone has their reasons, right?
He gets kind of drag over a large sort of machine with a lot of various different arms, all of which look like they would be very dangerous in the wrong hands. You see that one of the arms has a bit of a buzzsaw to it. Another arm has like a large sort of like slicing mechanism to it. There's some pincer arms and such, and she's getting it nice and collected for you. This is going to be quite invasive, but don't worry, because I'm going to drug you up so you don't feel a thing.
Well, I appreciate that much, though I've been through worse without the painkillers. Dawn will look a little nervous. Oh, no, I know why Ryder warned me about it.
She takes a moment to find another rebreather for you before putting it on your face. Okay, the both of you are likely going to be out of commission for the next 24 hours, so, I don't know. Dream of home.
Always.
Dawn will give a thumbs up while also at the same time putting in a sick day notice.
Okay. So, two of you are being taken care of, whilst Dragon and Novapop will be making their way out to the wastes in K9's vehicle.
If this nomad family
God.
sees, they might kill him.
Yeah, K9 might kill him.
So, you guys find yourselves driving out into the midst of the deserts before making your way northwards.
Make sure to park on the other side of the building where the exploded wreck of the streamer's car was, just in case the fuckwit cops actually make their way out there.
Takes you a solid hour to make your way out there, or at least to retrace your steps back to where you used to be. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever actually like taken the time to visit out here, Novapop, but this whole entire area is more or less the very small remains of what was a nuclear blast that went off a good solid half a century ago. It's not. It's not a place that one would come for fun normally. There's very little that's left over in terms of infrastructure. Most of what still remains is crumbling to some degree. Anything that does remain, it's almost a miracle that anything managed to survive. What remains of the old Arasaka building is perhaps only a few floors, and even then only parts of them. The rest of it having been more or less blown away by the blast itself from a good long time ago. When you arrive, it would be surprising, looking in this area, that there would be anything out here that you could connect to. It is just not a good look. But with Dragon's help, he leads you into the main Arasaka building, where he points out some of the nodes that he was able to determine from before. These very old Arasaka nodes may have something on them, if it hasn't been completely scrambled at this point. But it would be surprising if you would get a whole heck of a lot out of them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Sometimes you can find useful things in strange places. Being off the new net might be it's a bit like digging through the trash. Sometimes you find some treasures, and mostly it's just junk.
What you are able to find is more or less individual packets of data, which have been just sort of left behind. Now, these are on the first couple of floors of the old Arasaka building, which normally was not the places where one would get the sort of top-secret information that one would be looking for when they infiltrate a place like that. But amongst some of the things that you seem to be able to find, as you sort of jack in and start trying to find anything that's worth something, first thing that comes to mind is, that comes to your knowledge, is a series of memos. These memos appear to detail the sort of final moments of the Arasaka building, wherein there is a memo that is sent out at a particular point, I believe in the evening, about, from what the time says, around 10 p.m., that there are several unidentified intruders within the building, and that security is going to be kicked up as a result of this. There is another further memo talking about the fact that the intruders have made their way to the 5th floor of the building, with security still not having stopped them, with another memo saying not to worry, because this will be taken care of by the lead solo of Arasaka, known as Adam Smasher. Below all of these memos are sort of like the personal notes of the people who own these particular nodes. There is an initial skepticism of anything that's going to actually happen, followed by some worry that these intruders might end up doing something rash. And then there is a much more nervous indication as Adam Smasher is brought up, and there is a personal note saying, do we really need to resort to that?
Yeah, I'll share that with Dragon. Adam Smasher, huh? Sounds dangerous. Is he something of a big deal in your line of work?
I don't recognize his name. Is it something like Dwarven Adam Smasher?
Dragon, do you have Streetwise? Let's take a look.
Not really.
I have Streetwise for Pacifica.
For Pacifica, so no. Okay. I just feel like solos would probably know him just by virtue of sharing the same sort of profession. You know, like it's like knowing the best people in your profession. You know, it's just
Yeah.
So I'll say that, Dragon, you probably know some basic information about it. Adam Smasher has been around for a very long time. Initially, he was seen as a very special candidate by Arasaka in regards to his ability to kind of take augmentations and just not at all be bothered by them. Now, there are people who do things called full cons, where they do full conversions of their physical bodies into mechanical cybernetic bodies. And that's something that can be fairly difficult for a person to get through without having like severe mental issues as a result of being transferred into such a body, especially getting used to it. Now, Adam never really did that, so to speak. More so, bit by bit, he had all of his body eventually become that of cybernetic. And surprisingly, in spite of the fact that he ended up becoming more or less a unstoppable killing machine tank of a solo, personally employed by Arasaka, he never became a danger to their people either. Adam Smasher is known as the unstoppable killing machine among solos. If you were to ever come across him, your best bet would be to try to avoid him. It's been said that he has taken rockets to the face without a flinch. It has been said that he has the ability, that he is not just some large hulking behemoth of a man, but is also as fast as any individual vehicle, even faster on a dexterous level, being able to make tight turns and such. He is constantly being upgraded with new and new augmentations as the years go by, and he was one of the few that was actually able to survive the nuclear blast that went off 50 years ago. Currently, he still works for Arasaka.
Huh. Jokes aside, yeah, this Adam Smasher dude is one hell of a unit. I kind of depose all that information to Nova Pop.
Okay, and well, his presence known here at least. That can mean either. Looks like somebody was at least interested in protecting something important.
But yeah,
Let's see if we can get to some of the upper floors. Maybe we can learn more.
Might have be a data center in the basement. If there is such a thing.
And Nova Pop identify any other nodes in the building?
Make me an interface check as you're kind of scanning the building.
And where is that?
That's your roll.
Okay.
Your roll ability.
Got it.
Okay, 13. What you do is you hook into one of the current nodes, and you see if there's some way to connect to, or at the very least detect, any other active nodes from where you are. And while it's very difficult for you to come across anything that actually works at the moment, outside of what's already been pointed out to you by Dragon, you do note that there appears to be at least something which is still active far underneath you. How to get there is a different question. Dragon, as you're kind of like investigating the first floor and seeing whether or not there's some way to get into the basement of the old building, you find that there is nothing obvious.
I check for elevator shafts and see if I can't suss out if one of them is a special elevator shaft that goes underground.
Does not. Let's see. Give me a regular perception. Okay. 21. Let's see, with the 21, you're kind of glancing around and you don't see anything like an elevator shaft, but what you do see is that sort of having gone through a couple of small sort of isolated hallways, you end up coming across what appears to be a large sort of vaulted door.
Any digital access to it?
No, this appears to be a much more old-fashioned type of vault. The large sort of lock on the front is essentially a turnstile, which one would have to turn in various different directions and fashions in order to figure out how to unlock it.
A mechanical lock.
Yes.
We do have pick locking.
Well, pick locking is fine, but it's lock picking, I suppose, is fine for a regular mechanical lock. But this is more of a like almost like a bank vault door. It's not like it's a padlock.
I get back into one of the terminals and start looking for anyone who might have
Codes for it.
been careless about it or written it down or put it somewhere else, or in the dying days of the building not really cared all that much in terms of protecting their information.
Give me a decryption.
This is skill shit.
Cryptography?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Luck points on that.
Nice.
Not bad.
So, it becomes very obvious to you very quickly that a large amount of whatever data is on these sorts of nodes is more or less like corrupted, useless, like destroyed. However, you're able to kind of like cut through the bullshit of all the various sort of white noise that exists in the node itself. Eventually, you're able to kind of piece together at least some information regarding the sort of like final moments of the people here. And you see that there was at some point an old sort of instant messenger program that was done in-house, wherein some people were talking to each other very desperately, trying to think if there is some way that they could avoid the blast radius of the explosion, which was apparently happening at the time. And amongst the discussion was the basement vault, and there was Unfortunately, the people here were not privy to the actual combination, but someone said that they were absolutely certain that it probably had something to do with the founder of Arasaka's birthday.
Okay. Is that publicly available? I imagine it would be, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's give it a try. Month, date, year, date, month, that sort of thing.
Let's see.
If it is mechanical, at least let's try to. I'll try to also rule out any countermeasures, which there shouldn't be any.
Let's see. So, Sasai Arasaka, the founder of Arasaka itself, was born in 1859 in Tokyo, Japan. And he lived for about...
1859? What?
Oh, yeah, 1859. He lived about 101 years and died in 1960.
Oh, damn.
Augmented the hell and back when buried, I'm sure.
Oh, no. That's not really what they were focused on at that particular point, not in the 60s.
Oh.
He just lived a very long, full life.
Right. 1859 to put in. Or turn it to 1, turn it to 8, turn it to 5, turn it to 9.
You go through the spokes of the sort of vault and begin to turn it between the various numbers. And it takes you a couple of tries to figure out the sort of like directions that it's asking that that you need to turn it towards in order to make it work. But eventually you start hearing the telltale clicks of the vault beginning to unlock from various different turns. And eventually you are able to hear the vault click open, which allows for you to kind of pull open the door. Pulling open the door, however, because of how old this place is and how sort of like fused it is, requires kind of the both of you to like work really hard at tugging on the door. And as the both of you kind of like the vault door, you make your way. You find that there is a path leading downwards into this sort of basement of the old Arasaka building. The first thing that you notice being a skeleton that is still currently holding on to the handle of the door from the other side that you kind of like drag along with you.
They probably used it for cover and couldn't get out. Or were probably pinned down in here by the blast in the fallout.
Oh, doubt this
Rough
valve
way to
has amenities to survive in here anyway.
Rough way to go. All right, we'll head on inside, take a look around.
Okay. You make your way down to the basement of the old Arasaka building, and you find that it seems to be a pretty dark and dank place. Not a lot seems to jump out at you. There's no lights at all, from what you can tell.
I've got my smart glasses with low light. So
Sure. Which
So I
allows you
have
to
dark
see.
vision.
I don't imagine that provides a flashlight for Novapop, though.
no, I have a flashlight on me too, so I just hand it over.
I also have one, so we're good.
So you guys do a little bit of investigation as you go down there, and you find that the basement itself seems to be a long set of corridors. Before eventually you come across what appears to be a viewing room of some sort. You see a large sort of almost like a blast glass of in front of you, and behind that, kind of like shining your lights in, you're able to see that there is some sort of like old platform that was kind of like placed on the ground. And there is a computer terminal, which, whilst not currently powered up, does have sort of like some level of activity going on with it.
Take a closer look.
Nova, could you give me an electronics roll for me?
Same as electronic security tech.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 20. So you're looking at this thing, and you know that you're probably not going to be able to get into it unless you provide some level of power to it. Now, your cyber tech, your cyber deck, can provide a little bit of power to it from whatever it has still charged on it, but that will drain very quickly, which will probably result in you having a very hard time kind of getting anything of use outside of just like a general sort of copying of whatever you're able to find. So you won't have time to browse, is the main thing.
If any up, Dragon, is there anything around here that we think we can use as a secondary power source? I could take this and take the information and browse it later, or we can. That would require wrapping it up here and me heading home. We get a secondary power source here. I might be able to do something here, though.
We can come back later, I suppose. I'll lobe up the door so we can get in easier next time, and we'll just come back with the appropriate equipment.
Fine by me. What's if
So like,
There
not
might
like
be-
anything else is gonna get in the vault door.
Well, we'll take a look around though, real quick. Is there anything I could use for a secondary power source? Possibly the stuff from the nodes outside powering up. That might be using the one that we didn't have the most useful information on it. Might I be able to transfer some power source from there to here?
You trace the power source that the other nodes are currently using, and it appears to be some sort of renewable generator that is located elsewhere in the basement area. At least that's where it seems to track towards. You're not sure how much longer that thing could potentially provide power to what's going on here, since it's been more or less providing very little or minimum levels for a good long time. It could last a decent bit longer, but there's also the chance that at any time it could just shut off.
Okay, let's just go. I'll just go ahead and make a copy of the data myself. If that sounds like it's a little dodgy and might cut out while I'm working on it here. So if there's no reliable power source, it doesn't seem like a good place to do analysis. So I will create a virtual machine on my agent. Virtual hard drive, add the information there.
Okay. So you're going to copy whatever you can from powering it up with your gear, and try and copy down whatever you can before it ends up powering down again.
Yes.
Okay. Not a problem. Briefly, as you sort of like use your cyber deck as a secondary power source for the computer terminal, you are able to get it to boot up very briefly, and very quickly you have a little bit of time to try and copy whatever you can. The volume of which will be determined by your cryptography check.
The last one, or you want a new one?
New one.
I have the music turned down pretty low, but I just hear a lot of metal yelling. I created knowing where everything is on my sheet. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna burn the last 2 of the luck.
Jesus.
Oh,
Well,
Do
there
you
you
even
go.
need? Do you need
my
luck?
God.
Do you need luck? I'm just
All
saying.
right. You taking a
Like, now I'm gonna leave the game. I'm out, baby. I'm just gonna go get pizza and I'm gonna do anything for the rest of the game.
You
See you guys later. I'm not gonna put myself here.
you grab the largest chunk of data that you can, all of it just kind of like put together and just like download it into your cyber deck before it has a chance to power back down. Eventually, it does. But you now have essentially everything that you could have potentially grabbed from this particular terminal on your deck to be analyzed at a later time.
That went well. I've got all the information that my gear can store.
Just give him a thumbs up. Alright, well, we can come and back and investigate with everyone else further. If
Will
there's
do.
anything else to investigate.
I am interested to come back here. Thank you for showing me this. I'll know more when I get this back to my lab.
Yeah, let's get out of here before it gets dark. And before we leave, I take my weapons tech kit, or my, what is it? It's tech kit. It's a tech bag, and lube down the door hinges.
Okay.
And I close the fucking vault door.
Alrighty.
And then we drive back to Nova Pop's place using K9's vehicle.
No, it is a vehicle. What kind of gear does he have on it? Does he have any net-enabled stuff on it? Or is it just strictly mechanical?
Sorry, what's the question?
Does he, what kind of tech does Kanan have in his vehicle?
Well,
If any.
that'd be up to K9.
Not much. Maybe like some kind of phone installed, because he talked with the voodoo boy. But that should be all.
Gonna point that out to Dragon. Huh? Car phone. Haven't seen these in a while. You know, it does. Might be something to look into if we're going to be doing more work. Taking out a vehicle. You know, they can double as a good tech setup. Maybe do a little more. Be able to get some more options, especially on places we can take the vehicle.
That's
I'll take a look into that.
Sedan, I imagine, right? Young.
Sorry?
It's a four door sedan.
Yeah, something like that.
Say back to Nova. Tech-wise, I mean, there's not a lot of options for sedan.
You'd be surprised, you know, there's
Gadgets for something serious like you're thinking of that I think you're thinking of. Van would be more suited for something like that.
It would be, but the nice thing about trouble with the van is they're a little less maneuverable, and it seems like, you know, this would be good, good to get away from people. Yeah, there's lots of options, like I said. Well, I'm most of a tech than I am a net runner, but there's possibilities.
Well, it's not my car, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, me either. Wanna get something to eat?
That'll make Kanon mad when you hated my car?
Didn't say they're gonna get in the car.
I mean, if I was full cyborg like fucking Adam Smasher over there, anything's possible. He ate a fucking nuke. I'm sure he can eat a car.
Not eat a car, eat in the car. Like you order food, and all of a sudden, like he's got a fucking like old French fry, just like jammed in between his dashboard and shit, and
In
he
the
just
air
doesn't
vent.
he just doesn't notice it for like days upon days, and then all of a sudden it's just in there, and he's just like, oh, what the fuck is this?
You motherfuckers.
Like Sushi Dragon. And Japantown's on the other side of this road.
I'm not about to take a nomad's car out for any longer than necessary.
All right. Let's just head back to Rancho Coronado, and then we'll order in, I guess.
Okay. You guys will be making your way back then. So, you guys will be settling in for the evening, laying low with the recent activities having been done. You have had the opportunity during the drive to take a look and see if there's any reports on what you guys did, and you do see the interview with Officer Santos and what appears to be an injured Bruce with Turbo Dash. They do mention that there were several unnamed civilians who helped with the mission here. Thankfully, they don't name you guys nor describe you, but it is known that there were other people involved in the situation. Not sure exactly how you feel about that information.
I said a dragon. I say, well, I prefer they didn't mention that, but then again, people did see me outside using my cyber deck, so, and I wasn't exactly slick about it, so probably fine.
As long as the nearby surveillance cameras didn't catch our
We took control of all those systems and then covered ourselves up on the way out. Most of that was taken offline anyway. I mean, it's a seafood joint, so they're by the bay. Not a ton of security.
right.
Yeah, maybe it's good that somebody else has the gets all the attention with the sort of the public personalities. I think that it's inevitable we're going to be making some noise anyway. They can get out in front of it.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and have you two chilling out at Nova Pop's nice little, what could be politely called an estate, I suppose.
What kind of guy is a dragon to hang out with? I mean, I'm just curious, Harris. What kind of guy? I mean, is he just like always staring ahead and never making eye contact, or all business and like short, perfunctory answers to everything, or is he just kind of or is he a little more chill than that? Maybe now that he's, at least been in combat with somebody.
Well, you notice that he's got a radio communication device on his right ear and a earbud in his left. Like a not one with the microphone, but with just for listening. He pulls out his tech mag and starts stripping down and cleaning his gun.
No, we're gonna respect that. It's kind of like how I do defrag the hard drive once in a while. Good to keep things running smoothly.
Well, if you don't do maintenance out in a waste, your gun jams up all the time with the sand getting in the mags and getting in the fixings.
Yeah, it makes sense. Do you do the thing where you hang upside down and try to clean your gun upside down? I heard people like that.
In what situation would I have to fucking clean my gun upside down?
Well, I don't know none. Some people just like to.
That's
Have
not.
some fun with it. A little personal challenge. How quick they can, strip down and bring up their gun again. How quick can you strip down, right down to the components, and then bring back your gun? You ever time yourself?
About 5 minutes.
Wow, 5 minutes.
That's a
I
long
don't know
time.
about
Actually,
that. That's a very long time. I don't know. Give me let's see. What's your favorite arm of choice, Dragon?
I've only got 2 weapons. I've got a fucking assault rifle and a bow.
Okay. So with your assault rifle, let me.
I did a weapons check, tech skill.
Yeah,
too.
it'd be weapons tech. Go ahead and do that real quick, and we'll see like how quick you are.
I already did. It's 19.
19? Okay. Give me a sec.
Eating in the car and now disassembling guts in the car.
Oh, we're back at Nova Pop's cargo container.
I'm also gonna look into getting some better bullets. Unfortunately, I was able to actually able to hit that cyber psycho. Couldn't take him down though. With wasn't prepared to sling lead with a armored up dude. So maybe I'll get a little better prepared.
Well, I mean, I've got armor-piercing arrows, but that's more for taking people out quietly, not for straight-up gunfight like that one. Man out of armor-piercing bullets back in from a while ago.
In terms of your particular skills and in stripping your rifle down, Nova is being a little bit. He's under a common misconception. Now, while it is true there is such a thing as field stripping, and that is probably what he is referring to, it's the usual thing that you see in various different types of films surrounding solos or military men or anything along those lines. And that's something that normally only takes maybe perhaps 50 seconds, maybe a little under a minute to accomplish. Actually stripping it to the point where you're able to actually do maintenance on it. That's something that's like actually stripping it and then putting it back together to the down to the pins. That's something that takes more along the lines of 20 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, 5 minutes at the very least. I'll make sure to buff out the springs and all the mechanisms in the gas system and get all the fucking grit and sand out of it.
While I'm there, I'll just upload the data I have and prep it all and start the analysis process.
Okay. Getting everything in such a way that it'll be readable to you, since right now all you have is just kind of like packets of ones and zeros at the moment, is going to take a little bit of time. I'll go ahead and say that you'll be able to set up a program that will be able to decrypt the whole thing over a period of time. The question is how long that's going to take. So go ahead and give me, let's call it your electronics skill real quick, as you kind of like set up a sort of like on the spot program to kind of put everything together in such a way in which it's readable.
Yeah, maybe later,
Okay.
Nova, we can salvage those terminals for parts or scrap.
A little oldie-boldy, but it could be useful.
I don't know. Computers seem to be there then.
Yeah, Nova, the sort of computers that were used like 50 years ago, especially ones which are kind of like more or less damaged, these are things which don't really have any components which are still used in modern day equipment. If you were able to sort of slap together an old 20s era like computer terminal, you might be able to sell it on a night market for like $50 as like an antique. But that's probably all you'll find. Probably not worth the effort.
Yeah. 18.
Okay. So you set up the program and you get it started, and it starts to it pops up with a window and it starts saying 1% done. And it starts to sort of like compile all the data together. You see kind of like zipping underneath it as it is attempting to go through everything and put it together in such a way which is readable, and it's taking you a little while. After several minutes, it goes up to 2%. And you're like, okay, this is going to take a while.
And he claps his hand together, and now we play the waiting game. Typically, this is my favorite part of any given job, because it's essentially you getting paid to do a whole lot of nothing. He'll just pick up some other stuff. He's going to go online. He's going to find the reaction videos to Officer Santos' newest interview. What are we looking at here?
So there are several people who have already sort of capitalized on the new interview. These came out. These are like 10-minute long reaction videos that were made like fucking 15 minutes after the release of the interview. You see titles like "Officer Santos is back." And then there's like a thumbnail of Santos like smiling into the camera. It's just like, and there's like an arrow pointing to him. Actually badass? Question mark.
And then that just goes along with the Cyber Psycho news next.
And the reaction videos all tend to kind of follow a similar theme, where they're just like, I don't know who the fuck this Don Bruce guy is, but like I don't know, he looks slick. But like Officer Santos, he's out here saying that he just like straight up just went off, and he's like, hey, Cyber Psycho, fuck this shit. I went out, I fucked his day up. There's some people with me. They didn't want to be identified. And that might be true. That might not be true. I don't know. Might be, he's just trying to get some credit for himself. But then why the fuck would this Don Bruce guy, who I have no idea who the hell he is, why the hell would he be a part of the interview if Santos is trying to get all the credit? That's my thing. So I'm guessing there's probably a bunch of people that just didn't want to be on the interview. My guess, didn't want to get any credit, which is cool. That's actually infinitely cooler in my opinion. But someone's got to take credit. Might as well be Santos, especially with all the bullshit he's been doing lately. If y'all remember, he was in the video where he was in Arroyo, and he was trying to tell people on the streets that if they have issues with the NCPD to submit complaints to the department, which I got a laugh out of me. I don't know what what about the rest of you, but I laughed my ass off of that. And then there's also the fact that he was instrumental in that whole that massive police chase that happened the other day. So, it's a whole ass thing. I don't know how I feel about him at this point. If I remember correctly, the NCPD actually has a cyber squad, like a cyber psycho squad, like in case they find something like that. So like, here's my theory. I think Santos is pissed that he is a laughingstock on the internet, and so he decided, fuck that, I ain't calling in the Cyber Psycho squad, I'm taking care of this personally. And he went in, guns blazing, killed the shit out of this dude. From what we could tell, no casualties, so at least he did his job evacuating the place. So, I don't know. It feels like a dude who's trying real hard to kind of like demonstrate that he's not a bumbling fucking idiot, which, I don't know. Right now, all we've got are 3 instances. A police chase, a bad street recording where he just gets roasted, and him in this interview here. So, right now, I'm actually conflicted how I feel about the guy. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe.
What do the comments say?
Comments are conflicted as well. You see that analyzing the various different comments, about like 30% of them are like, the Santos guy looks like he's just trying to do his job. Honestly, I don't know. He seems okay. Maybe a bit dumb, but he's got his heart in the right place. The other 70% are just like, dude's a clout shark. He's out here putting his life at risk for internet points. I don't understand. So there's still a majority of people who are not buying into it.
Okay, yeah, people are pretty. Can I use a conversation role using my 10 sock accounts to try to shift a little bit in
Motherfucker's gonna upvote his own posts on Reddit.
and just to try to have a, it's just me and my sock accounts having a conversation that largely says, to try to get a little more positive. Like, yeah, you know what? It kind of makes sense that he might be a little insecure, but getting dragged publicly, fucking sucks, and maybe he was having a bad day, and he decided to at least he did something good with his bad day, and help some people. I mean, he did manage to evacuate all the civilians, so he's not hurting anybody but himself. So that's pretty cool. And I'll have another sock account like, doing the old, I'm not sure, could be this, could be that, I'm just being coy with myself, and then having another sock account where, no, man, he's totally cool, he's great,
Okay, go ahead and make me maybe a conversation roll real quick.
Okay.
Now, this is one reaction video that you're just like making a bunch of comments on, and how effective comments are at driving public perception. So probably not going to accomplish too much, but
Well, it's not going to turn around his entire fate of the city. But let's see if I can get a.
Yeah, I mean, what ends up happening is you end up starting several threads in the comment section that are all just kind of like people arguing with each other now.
Fine.
Which,
still a good day.
As far as the uploader is concerned, that's more engagement. He's happy.
Sure.
How long did NovaPop take in real time to fucking do this whole thread? Is it in like milliseconds or minutes?
It'll take a few minutes. I mean, they're just quick comments. I'm just waiting for my shit to finish uploading. Well,
Yeah.
it's just in between sips of coffee and double checking the the progress bar, and making small talk with Dragon to the extent that he makes small talk. This is something I can definitely multitask into. It doesn't take all of my time.
Yeah. And as a quick thing, since you guys are going to be waiting a little while on that decryption, Dragon, I am curious, sort of like when you're relaxing for the evening, when you're trying to just like chill, when your guns are clean and everything is fine, everything is reloaded, you've got all your ammo stocked back up, you can take out basically any one of your weapons and be able to use it at any given time. When you're locked and loaded and ready to go and the night is still kind of like young, what do you do? What is your sort of like default mode?
His default mode is just keep himself in shape and listen to music. He's doing
Sort of music does he
push-up
listen to?
squats, a variety of things. A mix between Glitch Hop, Electro Swing, all these other off brands that are well in 2077. It's pretty normal these days.
Mm. I assume you have like your own sort of like earbuds for that, so that you're not like necessarily bothering Pop.
I have my own radio music
Yeah.
player thing.
So Nova, as you're kind of like doing all of this, you kind of like glance back in your little cargo container and see that Dragon is just kind of like doing push-ups and
It's all like 20-year-old music too. He's got nothing recent.
inverted handstand stuff, keeping himself in shape while you see that he's got some earbuds in. You can very faintly hear like the sort of like crashing sounds of whatever music he's listening to, but it's not in any way that like is audible to you that you'll be able to understand what it is. But he seems pretty focused on keeping his body in shape.
No, I can respect that. You'll also notice that in the thing you'll see some like push-up bars, like on the thing, just to get a little. You'll see them tucked under the cot, while you're doing your stuff. So there is some light exercise equipment laying around.
Does Novapop
Not like-
have exercise equipment that he just doesn't use?
No, he uses them. I mean, it's just
Okay.
you can tell it's just like they're little things that that kicks him to bed, like just little, like the push-up bars, and
Okay.
and you also see some you'll see some wooden swords too. Some boken.
Wooden swords.
Yeah, boken. You know, the wooden version of the
Okay.
katana.
Some training
practice.
blades.
he does live action role playing in his free time.
So you'll notice that stuff.
He just likes to, practice his forms. For what purpose, I have no idea.
Oh yes, the swordplay will help me with my gun.
So you'll notice that also tucked around the same thing, you'll see the top of a gi.
Dragon pays no attention to any personal effects that Nova has. He's not interested, really.
Okay.
I mean, it's a small place,
Being-
you're gonna see it anyway.
Being,
It's like
Wow.
being a
He's
yeah, I see it, but I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not going to notice. I'm not going to say anything about it. It's beyond my personal interest as of right now.
in the zone. Pump it.
Exactly.
Okay, actually, can you please? No, that's too involved. But I was gonna say music request. Pump it by
Yeah,
Electric
I-
Cowboy.
I'm aware of that particular song. That fucking strange bit of pop metal. That was so weird.
I wanna feel it day and night. My workout, my delight.
He pops the container door open and starts doing pull-ups.
Okay. So, over the course of the evening, you guys will be more or less just relaxing, keeping track of the program, seeing how fast it decrypts. It's taking a while. About an hour in, it's only about 15% done. As you realize that likely this is going to take several more hours before it is finished.
In that case, we'll give a call over to the to Don's phone just see how he's doing.
Don's phone goes off, and it is answered, and there is a feminine voice on the other end saying, Mr. Bruce cannot come to the phone right now.
I've understood. I guess he's under treatment. Everything okay?
It'll be okay. I managed to get all of the bullets out of his system. It's going to take a little bit of recovery, but luckily we have increased levels of medicine these days that can allow me to more or less have him back in shape by tomorrow.
Okay, glad to hear it. I'll let you get back to your work. You have a great day, Doctor.
You as well.
All right. And that's all I need to do, really, for the day. I'm just chilling.
It's funny, I'm the only one who carries an actual phone agent.
So, night goes by. Bruce, K9, both of you finding yourselves regaining consciousness at some point in the very early morning. Both of you have been healed. Let's see, put you that. Not all the way. But essentially 15 hit points for each of you. When you awaken, the doctor is there kind of like keeping an eye on the both of you. She kind of like stands as you open your eyes and says, "Good morning."
Morning to you too. Anything happened while I was out?
You received a call from someone. I told them you are not available.
I hope that wasn't my boss. Don will get up and immediately begin brushing himself off and start getting himself ready.
whoever it was, they seem to understand your situation, so perhaps not.
Well, I no longer feel like my brain is at risk of leaking out of my nose, so thank you for that.
Both of your wounds have been more or less taken care of. That being said, you are still not fully healed from everything. That is to be expected. I would suggest taking at least the next day or two to rest.
Got it. That'll be easy doing, sitting behind a desk. Sweet. Canine, you awake? He'll go over and just slap the side of his head.
Yeah, boss. Oh, that was a night.
Yeah, some night.
My head hurts.
You EMP me again, and I'll make sure I open up the battle with a shotgun aimed in your direction.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, well,
Also, the thing with the gas at the end.
so that only affected you.
Yeah, man, that was a night.
Your
I
toxicology
can tell
report.
you.
Your toxicology report did indicate that there was some level of anesthetics already in your system before you got here, so that would explain your loopiness at the very least.
Yeah, I inhaled too much of my own smoke.
You know you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, it was a difficult situation. Like, it was the only way.
I've heard of getting high off your own supply before, but that's a little bit overkill, I think.
Tell me about it. The cyber psycho didn't even flinch.
Yeah, that's the sad part about it. Would be cool if it worked. Didn't.
Well,
So, yeah.
right. Well, I need to head to work before I'm late. Mercy, it's been an honor meeting you and working, getting treated by you. If I can do anything to make it up to you, well, I'll pull out a small card and offer it to her.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just doing my job. You paid for a service, I provided it.
Yeah, right. Do I owe you money?
The whole thing was
Corpo?
more or less taken care of by your friend.
So what do I owe you?
Don't worry about it. We'll get our cut soon enough for the incident. Not like it was
like
not like it was a lot of eddies.
yeah, no, I'm going to repay you. I'm not going to owe Corpo anything.
Technically, it was 900 if you count the finder fee. But I'm not exactly an average corpo. But for now, I need to get to work. He'll leave his card on the counter and begin calling a brighter.
Ryder answers his phone, and you kind of hear him in the midst of chewing. He appears to be having a breakfast at the moment as he goes, Good morning, sir.
Morning to you too, Ryder. Sorry about going out that long.
It's no problem at all. I suppose that you are feeling much better.
Not 100%, but I'm far better than I was. Listen, can you come get me and pick up a spare suit from my place?
I suppose I can do that, sure.
Thanks. I'll be waiting for you outside. If you want to talk to me at all, Canine, I'll just be out here. Don will say before taking his leave at the clinic.
Yeah, we'll see.
Kind of eyeing the both of you, Mercy kind of sends the both of you some basic details if you should ever want to get in contact with her directly. I am not only skilled in removing bullets from people's bodies, but also fairly decent at stripping bodies of various different bits of cyberware, should that ever be something that you are interested in investigating. And I am also very skilled in installing new bits of cyberware into people's bodies, should that be something you are interested in investigating.
That could come in handy. Thanks for the offer.
Definitely. You'll be the first to contact if that ever comes up.
Very good.
That's for sure.
Both of you try and stay safe now. It's very rare that I get customers that actually pay for their full treatments.
No, is that what that was about last night when we came here?
No, that one was just a gang member trying to harass me for protection money.
Seems like you can take care of yourself.
Yes, well, you have to if you operate independently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking care of
Business
others.
is hard.
Taking care of yourself and others. Nothing's easy these days. Don will just continue on his way.
See you, Corporal.
See you too, Frag Boy.
Okay. K9, it occurs to you, your car's not here.
Yeah. I noticed that when I leave. Wow.
Like the second the sleep meds wear off, he rips the mask. I was like, "Where's my car?"
My car.
Dude, where's my car?
Where did I park my car again? What? Where is the place I saw it last? It was at the fight, right? With the Cyber Psycho?
Yes.
Where was that again?
That would have been over in downtown.
That's not too far, so I just walked there.
Okay.
I mean, what should I do?
Oh, this is gonna be sad.
Am I remembering correctly? Didn't we drop him off?
No,
No, he was
No.
driven here by Ryder.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just took my car.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Don-
let's see if he's smart enough to make a phone call to the other people in the group that might have his car.
Do I have your numbers? I don't know.
don't think.
Mm,
I mean, I have Don's number now, but
I know you have Nova's number because that's how he gave you the info to get to his container to begin with, the meeting.
yeah,
No, he did that over the laptop.
yeah, right.
I
I
thought
don't
that
have,
was
have an agent.
I thought that was just a recruitment thing. Well, meanwhile, Don will call back Nova since he notices the missed call.
Nova, you, I don't know if you got any sleep in the past night,
Yeah, I did. True.
but your sleep is somewhat interrupted as your agent goes off, and when you awaken, the two things that you note is that, for one, your agent is currently awakening you with whatever customized sort of ringtone you might have for it. I'm not sure. And for two,
The soothing tones of a British lady.
Instant that goes off, Dragon just shoots straight up.
there's now a bullet hole in the
Hey, what
roof
the
of.
fuck?
No, he's not. He's not that fucking.
Okay.
Shoots up in terms of his body shooting up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He'll put it online on screen. Oh, hey Don, you look a bit better. I called earlier just to check up on you.
Yeah, sorry, I was under getting treatment. I'm mostly back on my feet, save for K9.
That's fine. Dragon and I had a pretty productive outing today. We can let you know the results when I know more.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I figure as far as your payment and your bills can go, I think going forward, anyone's medical bills can be kind of taken off the top before the split. Otherwise, the people taking the bullets are going to end up having the least amount of money, which seems kind of unfair.
Yeah, well, I covered most 80% of the bill there. Well, technically a bit more if you count a finder fee. He'll might as well pinching his nose. So, yeah. Has the payment come through for that cyber psycho yet?
Has it?
Yes, that was basically granted upon the meat wagon's arrival and confirmation of his identity.
Okay. So yeah, we had total 3,000. Minus your expenses for your treatment is what?
It costs 800 for the treatment on my part, 200 from K9, and another 100 from me because we need to pay Julian to find a med tech.
Yeah, no problem. It's probably good. 100 credits to get a reference and not for someone good and not some sleazy idiot. That's money well spent, I'd say.
I've heard nightmares of what goes down on Jig Jig Street.
So, okay, so that, what did you say that? Let's add that up again. What was that?
1,100 basically, 900 of which was mine.
Okay, so 1,100 minus 3,000
It's
is 1,900 total, divided by how many of us are there?
5.
So everybody, 380 for all of us.
Well, at least it's a pay.
Recoup your losses plus 380.
Well, at least it's a payout. How much money do I get out of that?
Recoup your losses plus 380.
All right.
And where do you put money on your sheet?
It's in gear.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
It's at the very bottom of gear. Like the gear tab, not like scrolling down.
Yeah, it says Eurobucks, modify by, then you can add a reason, blah, blah.
Alright. Well, thanks, Nova. I gotta get to work now. Also, Kanon just walked away looking very confused, pissed off, and like he was starving to death. Do you have his car?
Yeah.
Do you have his phone number?
I don't think I do.
Well, he was going to be very lost for a very long time. Hopefully he'll get some free food out of it at least, going back to the shrimp place.
Well, feel free to send him a message and let him know we have his car. I thought that would be obvious, but
he doesn't have an agent.
Well,
I don't think he does.
Well,
I'm
I
sure
guess he'll just have to figure it out on his own then.
I'm sure he'll remember where you live. But yeah, call me if anything comes up. I need to get to work.
Yeah, big cache of data from the old Arasaka building out in the wastelands.
Geez, that place, the place where the nukes fell.
Yeah, I was fortunate to be able to get at least all the data that I could, at least from onto my gear. So only limited by the gear I had on hand. So having with experience with that system, I hope if I can go back with some better resources, we might be able to get some really good stuff out of it. We'll see.
What resource were you lacking?
Well, I mean, just more memory, better cyber gear. Essentially, I was able to get into all the systems, no problem. I was only limited by the space on my agent and all that stuff.
All right. Well, places like that tend to be low on power, so I advise getting a spare car battery to use.
Yeah, power was an issue. I'll be looking into that tonight too. Well, anyway, imagine you're still somewhat on the mend, so try to get some rest, and then we'll see what we want to do tomorrow.
That'll be easy behind a desk. For now, I'm going to focus on work. Call me if anything comes up or if you need me.
Will do.
Don't hang up at that point and go back to waiting for Ryder.
Also, Lundy, my Eurobuck still had the 16 grand from character start, but I'll have to double check my notepad to make sure
I'm
that's
pretty sure you were at fucking 0 before that, so.
0, but I do have it in a separate sheet. I'll sort it out.
Okay. K9, you are just straight up walking the highway back down to downtown. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That sad, incredible
Guess
Hulk
I do.
scene.
This is something that takes you quite a bit of time to do as you make your way across, and as you begin to get like off of the road, because it is not particularly kind to people walking along on the sides of it. These roads in Night City are not made for pedestrians. You had spent probably a good solid like half hour walking across the highway here to get back down into downtown near the city center, and give me a perception roll as you do so.
Sure. Um,
Okay. You know that there's a lot of what one would call people who don't have a whole lot to their name in downtown. There's a lot of people who kind of like camp outside for one reason or another. A lot of people who don't kind of keep to themselves. Almost immediately as you sort of start entering the pedestrian walkways here, you're kind of accosted by at least several different very filthy looking folks who are just kind of like, can you spare a little bit of money, brother? Can you just spare a little bit? It's just a little bit to get me through the day, man. Just a little bit, dude.
oh man. Yeah, sure. I give them like, how many are there?
There's like 3 right now that are kind of like approaching you.
Yeah, I give each of them is 10 a lot? Not really.
It'll
Okay,
get
then
it'll,
wouldn't
it'll
know
get you
either.
it'll get you a meal.
Okay, let's say I give 20 to each.
You take out your cred stick and kind of download 20 onto each of their sort of like agents that they have on them. Interesting that they do have them, but that's something that's more or less universal for most people. Odd that you don't, but is what it is. And they each kind of like give you a little bit of a bow with their head, like, thanks, brother. Yeah, you're a good man, You're good, man. As they then leave you alone, having gotten what they want out of you. And the rest of your journey into downtown does not bode much better, as not long after that you kind of see, like, you're kind of coming out of the alleyway that you had met these guys in when an NCPD cruiser kind of like parks up next to you, and they just brush past you as they start making their way over to these 2 officers make their way over to these drifters, and one of them is just kind of like barking like, "Hey, what did I say about hanging out around here? You're not allowed around these parts. All right, get moving. Let's go."
Shit, this city, eh?
I mean, with how banged up you are, you could be mistaken for a homeless person.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I just keep walking. Basically ignoring them.
Making your way through downtown has proven to be a bit of an experience. Not only do you see the homeless, not only do you see the police kind of keeping a rather odd status quo about the area, You also note all sorts of people kind of hanging around outside doing what you imagine is probably illicit activities. Um, there are groups of what appear to be leather-clad folks hanging out in front of various sort of either apartment buildings or stores that just kind of like eyeball you as you make your way past. There's this supreme sense of unwelcomeness that you're sort of feeling as these people are just kind of like observing you. Whether they be gang members or just the locals themselves or even just like quote unquote business runners that don't particularly like seeing someone that they don't recognize in this particular area. It seems that not a lot of people are fans of you outside of potentially the few homeless that you pass out a little bit of money towards.
I give off the same vibe because I hate everything here. And everyone can feel it.
Much of downtown is apartment buildings that are made mostly just for like the sort of low level workers that make their way into the Corpo Plaza or Haywood. So there's not a whole lot of threats here necessarily, but you know, it's just an uncomfortable atmosphere. When you do eventually make your way over to the old the seafood restaurant from the night previous, a quick scan will reveal that not only is the place still very much closed down at the moment, with loads of sort of investigative UV tape just like all over the place, but your car's not here.
Well, about that, after that phone call, I would have asked Nova Pop, what was that about?
What was what?
Overheard Don saying something about the Nomad walking off. Is that what?
Yeah, he's he left without, or I guess realizing we have the car. I assume figured it out quickly enough.
Knowing how Nomads operate, I would have drove his car back to the scene that it was left.
Now it's the question, who's faster?
Well, you're on your feet, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But he's far away.
Yeah, but he also has a car now, specifically your car, and you've been traveling for about an hour and a half to make your way from Little China to the edge of downtown on foot, which gives Dragon plenty of time to get into your car and make his way all the way up into Haywood, and then using the highway, which has minimal stops to it, to eventually make his way to the edge of downtown himself. So while you are kind of like here looking around for your car and noticing that it doesn't appear to be here, you kind of hear the sound of a vehicle approaching as you look back behind you and see your vehicle being driven by Dragon approaching you.
I draw my pistol.
I shut the engine off and get out of the driver's seat. Come on,
What the fuck?
Come on, you think I was gonna let your vehicle sit here in the downtown? It would get jacked in a heartbeat.
I don't know if that would be worse than you driving my car.
Did you really have a choice?
I mean,
Who would you have drive your car? Me or Nerd Boy? Let's go.
rather nerd boy, to be honest.
Oh, look like he was just gonna leave it there.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I understand that, but What the fuck? Why are you back here?
Pick your ass up.
And move fucking over. I drive.
You already got out of the driver's
And
seat.
And if I ever see you drive my car again,
Feel
you know
free to
where
put
your
a bullet
ass ends
bag.
up. I'll finish what I've started. So where are we heading? Are we meeting up?
I imagine we're just going back to Nova Pops.
Okay.
Unless you got a better idea.
I don't.
Neither do I.
The test run was rather, let's say, rough. But
Yeah, we're gonna have
we
to
could
work
get
on
this
that.
over. But really, what the hell are you doing here? I thought you died somewhere.
Look, the last thing I remember, I was coughing up blood in my last combat zone. I don't remember shit after that or before that. Got hit in the head real hard with an explosion.
Yeah. You better have. This was your explosion. It was your fault.
You want to give out your car again?
Sorry. What did you say?
Said, are you on your car again? On about your car again? Thought you
Of
brought up
course. It's always about Bloodhound.
Well, if it's any consolation, if I didn't blow it up, somebody else would have.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't have been you. And I would have loved to see that happen.
Yeah, sadly, I don't remember any of it.
You don't
Better
remember
or worse.
any of it. You remember me?
Takes a good long look at K9. He's just shaking his head no. I don't remember anything.
Well, that's a fucking problem. Now I don't know. I don't know if I can be mad at you right now or not. Wow.
Well, if you say I did it, I did it. All I know is I lived in the combat zones.
We were friends a long time ago. Then you decided to blow my car up. I mean, that's the short version, of course, but
Right. Well, works me.
Well, there's clearly a lot of uncomfortableness between the two of you.
Yes. Uncomfortable silence.
Are you just driving back to Nova Pop's place then, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys will drive your way down there. On your way down, you find yourselves kind of like passing by the edge of the combat zone here, and very casually, as you're sort of just looking out the window, keeping an eye on things, Dragon, one thing that you do know is that there appears to be a group of people just being lined up against one of the unfinished apartment buildings in the combat zone.
I take my binos out and watch.
There is about 4 or 5 leather-clad gangers, each with just pistols in their hands, as they're kind of like pointing them randomly at the several sort of locals that have been lined up against the building. You can't really tell what it is that they're saying, but they appear to be sort of like harassing these people. There is a number of various different bits of possessions and such that they appear to have shaken down from the folks, and now they appear to be playing some sort of very macabre game that's probably going to result in at least some, if not all, of their deaths.
Is there any There's not any cameras out here, is there?
Not really. The combat zone doesn't really have a whole lot of tech security, but if there is, it would likely be overseen by another gang.
And what would be the chances to take an aim shot at one of their heads from a moving vehicle?
It would definitely add the DV a little bit. Would you be using your assault rifle for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
I said a canine. You don't mind a little drive-by shooting, do you?
Never.
Okay. Let's see. So assault rifle. These guys would be, I'd say, probably about that far away. Basically, like
Actually,
a little less than a football field away from you guys, like down here.
well, I motioned for a canine to pull over so I can get at least a good shot out of the passenger window.
Okay.
Yeah.
The DV you're looking to hit here is 15. So you could do a regular shot or an aim shot, up to you.
Aim shot's -8. I'm just gonna do a regular shot.
Okay.
I'm gonna clap the one that looks like it's a leader type position. I would have marked that on my binos.
None of these individual gangers look like they have any sort of like leader colors or any specialized gear on them, so it's like
Well,
just a group
body
of them.
language. I would have been looking at body language and who might have been leading the pack. If any at all. If not, then I just take a random shot at a random individual.
Yep.
Alright. I'm not gonna burn luck on this. So he said the DV was
15.
15.
So a 19 would do it. Go ahead with the damage.
Oh, that's not supposed to be the underbarrel grenade launcher.
No, I would hope not.
Ah, yes, my favorite, the 6-barrel rotary underbarrel grenade launcher.
No.
This grenade will hurt the people they're harassing.
Yeah. Where?
I'm the hero the town needs, both from the poor and the criminals.
After my shot, in motion for K9 to get going. I'm only gonna
Okay.
shoot one of them.
All right, you shoot. You manage to hit one of them, and he clearly is harmed by it as he sort of like yells out and curses as like a spray of bullets enter into him.
Oh, it was a single shot, but
One bullet enters into him for looks like 7. And they start looking around wildly, trying to find where the shot came from. in the chaos, the various locals who have been lined up against the building just scatter into all sorts of different directions, trying to make their way out of here without getting killed. Which eventually will probably get the gangers' attentions back on them again.
I
But
honk.
you honk, get their attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple of times.
They get on. They kind of like run over to what appear to be some motorbikes as you are driving away.
Yeah.
So
And on a truck can always start shit.
That's the way of the nomad.
So you got about 5 gangers on bikes that are now chasing after you guys. They've got pistols, and they're going to probably start shooting at you. So K9, your only job is to keep the fucking car steady. As you guys are making your way through here.
I
And then we also
Can I
have
drop a smoke grenade
um
out of the window?
you could. I'm not sure how effective it would be.
Yeah.
There's only one direction you
Yeah.
can go, and it only covers a small amount of room. So they probably just end up driving through the smoke.
Oh, but I drop a flashbang grenade. Maybe they go blind or something. Maybe.
A flashbang might do something.
Yeah, I just throw a flashbang out
You're
the
just
window.
carrying every type of grenade, aren't you?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I'm
Right.
out of EMP grenades, but
He'll run out of all the other types of grenades here at some point. It'll be a thing. So let's see. Go ahead
Well, if
and
they're
roll.
shooting at the car, I'm gonna return fire as well at them. I imagine that's gonna be initiative though.
Yeah, likely. Let me put you guys on here real quick, and then you can roll initiative. Okay, 16 for Heresy and Young. 14. Okay. So you guys are driving. You're being chased by gangers on bikes. They are shooting at you, and you are shooting back at them. In that instance, so these are very heavy. Okay. All right. Heresy, you can go first. These guys are chasing you. What are you doing?
What's their formation? Are they all kind of all over the road, or are they kind of lined up behind one another?
They're like next to each other. It's kind of like somewhat spread. There's like 10 feet between them, each person.
Okay, I'm just shooting one at a time then. Does that hit any of them off their bike?
That'll hit one of them. Go ahead and roll damage.
Points of damage off of a fucking single shot on an assault rifle. Is that right? I mean, 5d6, yeah.
You hit him in the kidney.
ouchie.
Yeah, 5d6. Definitely above average damage there. You do shoot one of them, and he takes a large chunk of damage. Let me double check real quick. Yeah. You shoot one of them with your assault rifle. He takes some shot in the chest, and he needs to make a roll to not immediately just crash. Oh, good. -2. I'm just double checking to see if they actually have. Oh, they do have land vehicle driving. Okay, good. 70 plus 4 is -2 is 15. Okay, yeah. He is able to keep himself steady, but you can see that you have definitely done damage to him, and he just kind of like pulls over and like sits up against the side of the highway, holding the bullet wound as the rest are still chasing.
How many in total was there? Five,
There was 5. There's now 4 that are still chasing. Young, you said you wanted K9 to drop a flash grenade in their faces, yeah?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll athletics to toss one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. You know that you have to be a little bit more precise on this, because if you just like toss it, they'll probably drive past it before it actually does anything. So you wait for a couple of seconds before tossing it. It ends up like popping in the air before it actually like gets to any of them. So it ends up not actually managing to hit any of them directly, unfortunately, or at least the effects.
man. Yeah, okay.
Um.
Then I speed up.
All right, go ahead and give me a land vehicle check.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 27, not at all bad.
That fucking gif, homie.
Okay.
I see fucking
There's a
like
GIF in
what
here
is
I'm
it,
not seeing.
It's just the one of K9. What I can only imagine it looks like K9 when he's trying to select the grenade.
Yeah. I feel that.
All right. The gangers are going to start shooting at your car. Let's see. They got a
That's not
plus.
nice.
No, it's not. But you also interrupted them. That's also not nice.
Yeah. Fair point.
You shot multiple.
Okay. That is going to be, let's see, 3 successful shots. And let's see here. Okay. So 2 of them are going to hit the car. So you're going to get some bullet holes in your car there, K9. Sorry.
No.
No.
It's a good thing I lost my favorite car already, otherwise this would hurt more.
Poor Wolfsbane.
Okay. Car takes a little bit of damage, and then we got another shot which is heading towards Dragon. Let's see, Dragon, you're kind of in a car, so evasion isn't really like an option.
I mean, if he grabs the steering wheel.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, your armor probably takes care of that anyway. Yeah, That's light armor jacket, head and body. So yeah, you're good. A bullet does manage to graze you, Dragon, but your armor more or less just kind of like pew, deflects that stuff right off of you. It was a very grazing shot in the first place, so you're fine. And then we're back to you.
Well, I'll fucking start shooting back again. 19. $15 points of damage this time.
Very good. So it's going to be that. They're going to need to roll again. I'm still seriously injured from that. Okay. Yeah, that one also stabilizes himself, but he is also more or less taken out of the fight as he also pulls over with a bullet wound in his gut, not wanting to go any further from there. There are now 3 gangers chasing you. Young.
Can I shoot at them while driving? Probably difficult, right?
It would be. I'm going to say you're at a -4 to shooting and driving if you're going to do both at the same time.
Yeah, I'll just drive.
Okay.
Try to get rid of them. Drive into the city, take some side streets.
Okay. Nice. Very quickly, you spot what appears to be sort of like a little work ramp on the highway here, and you take that off and head in, and you and Draken and your car go kind of like flying over top of the ramp and into what appears to be a back street, landing in between the sort of river going through Night City as well as the district itself. You kind of land and you kind of hear like a bunch of chickens currently like balking at you guys. As you land, you see feathers kind of like flying as you appear to have landed on top of what appears to be at least a couple of crates full of chicken cages. And as you continue to move, you continue to drive. Some of the people who own the property that you just got are kind of like come out and start shaking their fists in your general direction. The gangers decide not to chase you over top into the alleyway there, not knowing exactly how their bikes are going to be able to handle it and whether or not they would land right. Plus, they got 2 injured already, so they're going to go ahead and beat a hasty retreat as you make your way around back onto the main road, and then eventually use the back roads even more, making sure to avoid any sort of unnecessary attention to get back to Nova Pop's place. So yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished, as I say.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Well,
Just like the old days.
Welcome back, guys. Any traffic on the way over?
old days. You'll have to remind me of what happened in the old days.
Something like that.
Oh, Nova Pop. Other than pissing off an entire gang, nothing uneventful.
Okay, cool. I'll just recommend against stirring up any dust with the Voodoo Boys down here. They are a useful contact of mine.
Well, I hope they weren't voodoo boys. I passed them the gang details on clothing and colors and shit.
While you guys are meeting back up, Bruce, you are being brought back to your place of work by Ryder. He has both picked you up as well as gotten you a new suit for you to change back into in the back seat.
Yeah, thanks for taking care of that, Ryder. I didn't know if I'd make it in time otherwise.
You don't necessarily need to keep thanking me for doing my job, sir.
Yeah, well, I don't think your job entailed dealing with blood-soaked bodies half the time either.
Not normally, but let's just say it's not the first time.
Can I give him, like, an 80 credit bonus or anything?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, I'll do that. Don's eyes will flash as he gives Ryder the bonus of 80 credits.
Oh. Thank you very much, sir. I'll make sure to spend that wisely.
Keep up the good work, or there will be way more where that came from.
Now that is what I like to hear. I'll tell you about where I used to come from, sir.
No, I don't think you have, Ryder. Don says while trying to get his tie fixed.
I used to be part of a gang over in Britain.
You in a gang?
We were a little bit more classy than most of the booster gangs you see these days. Like to wear trilbies and such, you know, the classics. Regardless, we were responsible for a lot of the drug running that happened in the countryside. I was one of the main drivers at that particular point. We ended up having a bit of a territorial dispute with several other nomadic tribes that did not like the fact that our little island was not big enough for all the tribes together. Not enough business to go around, you see. Or at least, not enough for them. They didn't like the fact that we cornered a little bit of the market, and they wanted in on it, and they were willing to muscle their way in forcefully. Unfortunately, that particular war did not go in our favor.
Leaving you with not many options, huh?
I'm not much of a fighter, sir. Not a sniper, not good with a handgun. Driving is all I know.
What happened to you after that? Or was that where you just decided to head to Night City?
Well, I knew that there was a battle that was going to be happening between several of the various families. Things had come to a bit of a head. I had a choice that I could make. I could either take what I had and move to a place where I won't be bothered by this nonsense anymore, or I could participate and see this particular conflict to its final stupidity.
I'd say you made the right choice.
The surviving members of my family would disagree.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Nothing worse than being told what you did was the wrong outcome.
luckily, the chances of them ever popping up in this particular sector of the world is extremely low. They're not exactly well made. They're not doing well business-wise. And, of course, since I'm the one who abandoned them, blaming me is the key thing.
When things go south, they need to blame somebody. I certainly understand that. I still occasionally get a threatening phone call from my girlfriend. Her family.
They still hold that against you.
I'm guessing they thought I could have saved her with the power of love or something. In that instant, there was only one thing I could do. I think I gave her the peacefulest option.
Well, can't particularly blame them too much, sir. It is their daughter, after all. It's difficult for anyone to let go of a dead family member, especially one which is your progeny.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to me, Ryder.
Well, thank you for listening to me.
I'm gonna head in there and probably get destroyed by the boss. You take it easy.
I imagine he'll be more than understanding, especially with your job being as, let's call it, filler, as it were.
That's one way to put it. Don will just shut the door before beginning to make his way inside.
You make your way into the corporate building of Augmentix, Rockland Augmentix. And, well, I mean, while you are patched up, it is very clear that you were patched up, which is a little bit off-putting to the security when they make their way inside. When you make your way inside, and they kind of look to you and say, "Mr. Bruce, are you okay?"
You haven't watched TV lately. I had a run-in with a cyber psycho. Took a good few monowire hits to the face.
Oh, you must have missed that particular story, sir. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Well, good to see that you're alive and well, though. You seem more or less okay.
Yeah, cyber psycho didn't get out alive, though, sadly. Just another victim in this insanity pit we call a town. Keep up the good work, he'll say while getting on the elevator.
You get on the elevator and make your way back to your office. There you do get a call from one of your superiors after you sit down going, "Hey, saw you made it into the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, I've got about like 3 different people in your department who no-showed yesterday, so I'm going to need you to go ahead and pull up the papers and see about firing them. Can you do that for me, bud?
This is their first infraction?
It is, but honestly, they're still within the 120-day window of being first hired, so you know how it is.
Can't say I do. Well, can you send me their names?
Sure, I'll go ahead and send you a list here real quick. They're probably going to end up making their way in here at some point today, so if you go ahead and deliver the news for me personally, that'd be great.
Alright, I'll do it.
Good to hear, Mr. Bruce. And hey, good to have you back in the office.
It's good to be back, sir. Just imagine this entire time some passive-aggressive actions of Dawn's that the guy can't see on the phone. Alright, let's pull up these poor victims' names.
Okay. While you are handling the grunt work of middle management and taking the brunt of the disdain from the workers as a result of what you have been told to do by your boss.
You think my beaten face would help that a little?
Potentially. Though whether or not they assume you like fought for their position and literally like in a literal fashion and then got like punched in the face, who knows?
He'll be fully sympathetic towards them.
Nova Pop. Your decryption is finished. I sent you the information that you were able to determine from the decryption of the data that you were able to get.
Okay. What are we dealing with?
I'll take a read.
Well, this is interesting. Apparently that basement held the bare bones for a project called Project E. It's meant to ingrain a person's consciousness into the internal systems of Arasaka. To create a sort of pseudo-immortality. I guess their brains live on in the machines after bodies pass away. No information on how far they actually got. But this bit of business with the new compromised terminals might have something to do with that.
Possibly. the ghost in the machine, then who's to say that it's not related to terminal business?
I mean, it's a fascinating thing. I mean, going back for centuries, people dreamed of immortality by uploading their consciousness. The only thing that actually does is create a copy of a computer program while you just continue to have cancer or whatever. So it's generally written off as a giant waste of time. However, for some place like Arasaka, having some of their best or brightest minds be able to continue essentially working for them forever, which is really the deal, I imagine that would be something they would want. I mean, that's what corporations generally want anyway. For you to work for them as long as possible, as cheaply as possible. If they can technically own your consciousness forever, that'd be a way to do it.
The question is, if let's say hypothetically, these individuals did get their... How far along has that project, first question is, how far along has that project gotten into? Do they actually upload people's conscious, or is it just,
not determinable?
okay.
At least from this data store.
Does the data storage point to any, where the location of the testing or prototyping is done?
What I can tell was done in that building. That may have been the end of the project when the building ended. But we'll do. I'm gonna write some search algorithms to try to get some more information. See if there's at least if it can point to a source of additional information.
Those curious can make a deduction check to see if they can at least come up with a general idea of where to start looking, if they would like to follow up on this information at all. Stands to reason, Nova, that if this project continued in any fashion whatsoever, it would likely be done at the new Arasaka HQ. Being able to get into there with full security and all that would probably be extremely difficult. But if you wanted to find out more information about it, likely that's where you'd have to go. That being said, as you've already been informed before, one of their lead sort of security specialists, Adam Smasher, is apparently one of the biggest, baddest solos around who survived a nuclear blast. So, does that sound intelligent, is the secondary question.
Information does exist, like something like that. It'll be held in very high security at Arasaka's headquarters, which is not a run I'm keen to do at this time.
Well, maybe we got something to ask your terminal AI or whatever.
Access to the terminals themselves that have been spread out throughout the corporate infrastructure would be probably the best bet, at least for the moment, on that. Try to take the indirect path.
Once we get access to them, we can ask the question to the mysterious happenings with the new terminals, whether or not they are an uploaded conscious or something else entirely.
Could be. This could also be an effort to either resurrect the program, or it could be a flawed prototype that somehow made it out into the supply chain.
Well, no, it's not too far into this till we actually get our hands on a terminal.
I think so. I think that we should again go after a lower security terminal than That's something that's not too far beyond our capabilities at this time. But we'll still have the information. At least some of the information we'll need.
Bruce, while you're after your kind of like your firings, you have a moment to kind of like sit and just relax for a bit. And while you're sort of just sitting at your terminal, thinking about your next moves in particular, you get a memo. It's from one of the other departments. It seems to have been sent to, well, you as well as several other departments, as a general question of, is anybody else having issues getting access to yesterday's reports? After a minute or two, a response is given from another one of the departments saying, I haven't, no. Maybe that's a localized issue. This then continues on as it appears that someone needs help troubleshooting some sort of issue with accessing some of their data.
Don will see this as the opportunity. He'll contact them and say he knows someone who could definitely get the job done.
Another response is sort of like written back to you saying, well, I'm not sure how serious it is. We could probably take care of it in-house.
Think, Don, think. How can I convince them that this is a good idea? I may as well spell it. I know of a net runner who has great IT capabilities. If there is a problem, he'll solve it.
Give me a conversation roll.
I'm fucked. Conversation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 19. Tell you what, if our local spiders can't handle the situation and fix everything, then we'll think about contracting outside.
He works cheap. Don will remind them and say thanks.
I'll bear that in mind when I offer to pay the fee.
Don will just sit back in his chair and run his hands down his face, looking exasperated. All this I'm putting on the line, and I'm gambling on a guy who doesn't look like he even knows how to shave.
That would actually increase my esteem.
At least amongst the IT professionals, yeah, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy is."
Yeah, actually, that you say it out loud.
The sloppier you look, the more likely people are gonna be like, "Oh, that guy knows his shit."
Clearly, he doesn't leave his desk for days at a time.
As you have finished up that particular conversation, trying to figure out some way to get an excuse to bring in Nova Pop into the situation, you get another memo, but this one is just addressed to you, and it's just one word. The from address is entirely in binary, almost like it's like a spam of some sort. But it's using your internal corporate memo process. So it's not like it's an outside email of any sort. And it just says, hello with a question mark.
Don will raise an eyebrow at this, but then respond with, hello?
Responds back again with another hello and a question mark.
Yes, well, let's see if they'll actually say more. This is Don Bruce. Who is this?
I don't know.
Oh, crap. Don will just remember what Nova had told him and look a little panicked. It's like, Well, may as well commit. You don't know.
No.
What do you know?
More than I should.
But you don't know who you are.
No.
Is there any reason you're reaching out to me specifically?
Reached out to many. Most ignore. Think is spam.
It's mostly because of the binary address, I imagine.
Should create a new one.
Is there anything I can do for you?
What should my address be?
I Heart Rainbows 99.
Okay.
Don's just got nothing here. He's just like, I'm not intelligence and tech. Spent my whole life just mastering how to ass kiss in the perfect way.
After a couple minutes, I love Rainbows 99, and then responds back saying, "Does this work?"
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good. Thank you.
So, is there anything I can do to help you?
I don't know.
Do you know where you are?
No.
Oh, that's concerning. Oh, do you have any questions for me?
Can you find me?
Can I find you? Some of my friends and me are already working on that, I want to say. Don just begins to slowly just take out his agent, begin texting Nova Pop what's going down. Tell you what, would I be able to, like, give it Nova's deets?
I think all you have for Nova is a phone number. Not sure if you have his like email and such.
I thought I'd text him it at least.
Nova's at his place. He's at his terminal. If you text or call, he'll see it.
You can ask Nova if you think it's a good idea to give this mysterious person a direct access to him.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll call Nova up.
Hey, what's going on?
Either the brain damage is worse than I was aware, or I'm being contacted by the very thing you're interested in investigating.
Oh, well, that is big.
Yeah, I just got it to change its email name, so I think it's friendly. Don will just look at the username again, or the email header. Yep, really
I
did
have a
that one.
separate secure. I'm going to create a an email alias from within one of my many secure services.
Yeah, I was wondering if I should give it access to you, more or less.
It's not to me directly, but give it to this address, if you'd like. You can loop me in. And what this is essentially this email address is basically like a secure, like I mean, to use a modern day analogy, like one that would come along with a VPN or some other service that's not necessarily tied to your identity, something that you can switch aliases fairly quickly. And also, again, like a virtual machine, have its own network stores for any attachments or things like that. Like any good netrunner / cybersecurity professional would have for analyzing stuff. And he'll create one basically just for this situation, and then send it over.
All right, I got it. So I'm going to tell you in advance, the header email that I gave it is iHeartRainbows99.
Juvenile, but essentially that's something that will escape notice.
I panicked, Don says while I'm putting the information that Nova gave him to the computer.
So,
Greetings, I heart Rainbow's 99. This is Weasel Boy. How can we help you?
um, you say this is Weasel Boy, and the response is Mustela. Family Mustelidae. Genus Mustela includes the least weasels, polecats, stoles, ferrets, and European mink. Members of this genus are small, active predators with long and slender bodies and short legs. The family Mustelidae, or Mustelids, which also includes badgers, otters, and wolverines, is often referred to as the weasel family. What is Weasel Boy?
This is just a friendly name that I use to identify myself. I am human.
I do not understand.
This is a name, a designator, that I, as a human, have given myself in order to interact with this computer system. Are you aware that you are in a computer system?
You don't receive a response for quite a long time after that.
Are you all right?
More silence follows.
Appears I may have traumatized it.
As you're trying to figure out what's going on here, you see, Bruce, on your end, you see a video feed begin to play, and it is not a video feed of any of the security cameras within the building. It's just it's as if it's something which is being constructed in real time, as you see what appears to be an entirely pixelated sort of generic face that then appears in front of you and says, "They can see me," and then it deletes itself.
Nova, tell me you got that.
I saw that.
Great.
Can
Yeah.
I run an image search on that generic face and see if there's anything matching that I can find?
This is a face which is usually, I'll just give this to you because your library search, I think, is at a base 10. This is a generic face which is generally used for most sort of like 3D processing, like initial processing, when you're either for animations or even for digital recreations of events, or sort of like a baseline sort of puppet, more or less, to be used by either animation software or camera software, or just anything along those lines.
All right, can I trace any of this? I'm going to look at the header information from the emails. I'm going to look at all of the... So the header information from an email is the part of the email that you generally don't see when you're reading your email. That is all the technical information, all of the places it was routed to, all of the underlying tech that moves the information around. What can I tell from that?
Well, the issue that you're going to have is that essentially all of it seems to be internal as far as the network is concerned. It's all using the Rockland Augmentics internal system to essentially send its messages. It has created essentially a new address within the system itself, the network, that didn't originally exist in order to be able to communicate, which creates essentially a node within a node.
Okay. To just sort of compare it to, how about this? I'll explain it kind of in terms of, the real world. and then we can break this down how you like. Essentially, in the case of email or any kind of public system like that, there's some stuff that can be encrypted, like, for example, the message body, certain things, but other things will not be. The things that won't be encrypted or the things that will be visible are things like that would be necessary for the transmission of the information. Essentially, you'll have to, in order for the email to work, it needs to know how to get from one IP address to the next, to the nose, to identifying various hardware. If that were to be encrypted, the transmission would simply fail. So of the things that are traceable, what can I find?
The only thing that you're able to find is that whatever this is inside of the network at Augmentix. If you wanted to actually get in contact with it, you would need to be utilizing a terminal at Augmentix, which is why Bruce is able to use it. Now, he is able to also get you connected to his, but that does not actually connect you to the internal network of Augmentix.
Okay, I'm just going to call Bruce now and relay this. In order to know more, I'll need to be able to get into Rockland's systems.
Well, I got good news about that. I might have gotten you in, assuming the spiders we have working here can't fix the problem. One office has been having some issues, or one department.
If it's connected to this business, it's unlikely that the spiders are going to fix it.
Well,
You can simply say that you're bringing in an outside contractor for whatever reason.
I kind of already sold them on you, so...
Okay, outstanding.
Well, at least one thing went my way today.
Okay, well, just send me over the appointment details, and I'll get ready in the meantime.
As soon as they're made, it'll be done.
Any chance these folks might want to crash at your place? It's a little crowded in here with 3 people. I can uncomfortably seat 2 in here.
I don't have any earthly idea how... You know what? The only one who will probably respect my property... Yeah, just... What's his name? Longbeard. Dragon. Yeah. You could send him over. Probably be better if him and...
It's hilarious that Dragon is the less likely person to destroy your property.
Well, yeah.
Well, I kind of like my property too, you know.
You live in a shipping container. You don't have any property.
Yeah, well, that's me.
I live on a company apartment complex.
All my stuff is here. But thanks for wanting to leave me with the one that
shot a laptop.
Yeah, you know what?
He's a dope.
That shot the laptop. He's gonna go to your place.
I mean, he doesn't like corpos. He's a nomad. I don't. It's like this is the 2.5 Men sitcom, you know.
Yeah, well, the other one is taking apart his gun and putting it back together over and over again while he does push-ups.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm calling dibs on him.
Okay, well.
Goodbye. He'll hang up on that point. Immediately reach under his desk and open the drawer, and there's like 3 bottles of whiskey in it.
They'll turn over to this guy, set up, if you like, one or both of you can head over to, and crash at, our corporal friend's place. It's a little bigger and nicer. Although
Nah, thanks, I'll pass. I just live in my car.
It's chilly because of the bullet holes.
You can, Dragon, feel free to take the cot. I'll just pull out the bed, like the spare bedroll that's underneath it. And, I have a nice comfy enough gaming chair. I'll prop up my feet.
I literally have my inflatable shit, so.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
So
no one wants to come to my place, even though I said I'd take one?
Inflatable woman, that's what I pictured. I'm set.
Well, I don't have an agent. All I have is for communication is a radio communicator.
Okay, so alright, I guess we're calling it a day now. And I guess we'll have to know more when we get into that system, which now Nova Pop is very interested in.
Okay. Well, that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session for today, as you are now a little bit more understanding of the situation as it stands. Before we go ahead and end, I want to do the thing that I normally do at the end of our little sessions, which is affirmations real quickly. Starting at the top to the bottom, Heresy, do you have anything that you'd like to say about everyone's play today?
Probably Don Bruce, homies. Don Bruce, with the, medical visit. The,
Mercy.
Mercy, yeah. And, the interaction with the rider as well.
Okay. Homie?
I enjoyed a lot of that, though. I do love just the thought of the second K9 gets out of the medical hospital and gets his car back, he's in another gunfight right away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I missed my grenade. Hey, can you open the glove box? There might be more in there. It's like, it's a dapple. It's pretty good all around. Interacting with the NPCs was great too. All the flavor in the world. I enjoyed that a lot. It was kind of a bummer not having Santos there, but hey, at least my boss didn't kill me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thorium.
I enjoyed, I enjoyed the fact that 3 out of 4 crits on my rolls. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, that was. It's a little sus.
I mean, a little, So, awesome. Nice to see. You always like your character to feel competent. He certainly does. Look like an absolute boss at his job, doesn't he?
I was just happy I made the conversation that decently.
And so for also I like the impromptu car chase gunfight. Assholes causing trouble. I'm a guy who shoots assholes causing trouble. This is perfect.
Cyberpunk encourages me to regularly roll random encounters throughout the city depending on the time of day. And there's like 3 different roll charts to go off of based off whether or not it's daytime, evening, or midnight past midnight.
Hey, you give me some. If you're gonna feed me, I'm gonna fucking eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me a combat encounter, I'm gonna fucking shoot.
I still just.
Car chase.
I got my car back, and it's full of bullet holes.
Halfway
I
full of.
just picture Dragon as like Otto from A Fish Called Wanda. Just this off the cuff, a belligerent guy, even especially when driving. Asshole! Just cut off other people and then call them assholes before they could even respond. Asshole!
The road is mine. It is kind of weird not seeing enemy tokens at all.
All right. And Young, anything for you?
I really enjoyed interacting with Don. I think K9 and Don
Yeah, the
have a good
Nomad,
chemistry.
the Nomad and the Corpo have the chemistry. That's where I didn't expect that to hit.
I love that the Nomad is
Yeah.
all loopy as a result of not only like blood loss, but also as a result of having recently ingested his own sleep grenade the entire time. So he just keeps calling the exec boss, which is like antithetical to Nomads in general.
And then it's just Dawn keeps screaming at him for various things because he's pissed off.
So like that Nova and Don I've kind of formed a bit of a friendship. I mean, at least over this. Like they just get along fairly well enough. They're just if they don't get just no reason. I guess it's almost like they don't have a reason to not get along, so they just do.
We're both achieving our goals. What more do you need, Julian?
Over laughing at Santos.
That he's gonna get destroyed next session by his boss.
You know what? Before we log off for the night, I'll check out the Santos chat. Anything else
He's got a fan chat.
To him in the intervening 24 hours. Let's see if did it twist the other way? Did public opinion?
Things it's still too quick for there to be any differences from the last time you checked.
All right.
Topics are starting to divert.
No new stories, so nothing new to comment on. So no new things to kind of press people in any one particular direction. So it is what it is.
Okay. What to make of this guy? He's could be a big dummy. Can't really. But why would he do this? Why would he?
All right. Well, that has been the session for today. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. For those who have come by to say hey and take a listen, take a look, I appreciate that immensely. I will be back on. I might actually be back tomorrow to stream the rest of Alan Wake. I don't know. But Wednesday, if you're interested mostly in just the TTRPGs, will be Astral Wars. They are in the midst of a pretty rough situation that has them going up against multiple Illithids, as well as an Aboleth, as well as like all of their various different mind slaves to try and take some territory from them. It's a bit of an intense situation, and the wizard has been transformed into a snake because he currently has 0 intelligence. So
Not the worst outcome.
it is what it is.
We find a way to make the best of things.
The snake's cool. I can take a lot of hits.
True. You're now a tank.
Opposite of wizards.
So yeah, stay safe, don't die.